Hey, what's up guys, Grant from Master Cardfight. Today I'm bringing you an Omega Glendiose Lane Joker deck profile. So let's get to it. For starting Vanguard we have Star Vader, Worldline Dragon. Basically it's a grade 2 fetcher because this deck is heavy reliant on grade 3s, so you need to take out grade 2s because grade 1 is the critical Vanguard in order to get to the next grade. So it's just basically a fetcher. For triggers we play 4 heal triggers. This is just basically to not let yourself get too heavy on damage because Omega Glendiose effect is an ultimate break. So you don't want to stay at 4 damage because if they do take a crit, you will lose. So getting 5 damage is kind of hard. We play 4 stand trigger. This is just basically to add field pressure because if you're just waiting on Omega Glendiose effect, you won't have any pressure on the other person, so you don't want to make it too unevenly matched because if you do get Omega Glendiose's effect very late game, then and if they have a big hand, you will lose. So this is just to put that extra pressure so you kind of keep the game even out. We play 8 draw trigger. Now the reason we play 8 draw trigger is because Omega Glendiose itself cannot lock 5 on his own, so he needs a lot of support. So these draw triggers is just basically to get cards to support Omega Glendiose's effect and just help him out in locking. So that's why I play 8 draw trigger. For grade 1s, we play 3 Star Vader Presidonium. So basically, when this unit is placed on a rear guard, if you have a Lane Joker Vanguard, for each different rear guard with a card with reverse R in its card name, choose a card from the damage zone and turn face up. Basically, it's a damage zone flipper for because this deck is kind of heavy reliant on counterblast in order to be a bit defensive. So that's why you play 3 of them. Next, you play 4 cards of Star Vader Rain Magician. This card is counterblast 1. When this unit is placed on rear guard circle, if you have a Lane Joker Vanguard, you may pay the cost. If you do choose a card from a drop zone with reverse R in its card name, for each different rear guard you have a reverse that has a reverse R in its card name, put it into a hand. So this is just basically the cards that if you drop something that you kind of need, you can actually get this back into your hand. So like if it's life or death situation and you just have to drop that card, then this can actually help you get it back in the hand. Next up, we play 3 Perfect Guard because I'll explain why in a second. But 3 Perfect Guard just for that extra defense, and we play 3 of Taboo Star Vader Rubdium. This is basically a damage deflector. Basically, if someone starts attacking you, you can deflect this to another unit, and most of the time you don't really need other units because you're not really attacking that much. So yeah, that's why you only play 3 Perfect Guard, because you don't need that much defense because of that card. Next up we have Star Vader Magnet Hollow. So 4 copies of this. Basically it's counterblast 1. This unit attack hits a Vanguard. If you have a Vanguard with Star Vader in its card name, so basically all of them are Star Vader, you may pay that cost. If you do search up your deck for 1 card with a reverse R in its card name, reveal it to your opponent and put it into your hand and shuffle your deck. So there are, like I said, this deck is heavy reliant on other cards in order to get Omega Glendiose's effect off. So it's another searcher. You'll see that a lot with a lot of these cards. Next up we play 4 cards of Star Vader Cold Breath Dragon. Now the reason why we play Cold Breath is, well, let me explain the effect. It's counterblast 1. When this unit is placed on rear guard, if you have Lane Joker Vanguard and your opponent has a lot of cards, you may pay the cost. If you do your opponent choose one of his or her rear guard and put the top card of his or her deck on that rear guard face down is locked. So this is a very crucial card because your opponent can counter Omega Glendiose's effect just by not calling a card, so you can't have 5 locked rear guards, because that's the only way you can actually activate Omega Glendiose's ultimate break. So this card forces them to put a card from their deck to their rear guard circles in order to fill it up, and that way it makes it easier to pull off World's End. And finally, moving on to grade 3s, we'll play the reverse cards. We'll play 1 Ramil reverse, 1 Leopold reverse, 1 reverse Dayusha, 1 reverse Ethics Buster, 1 reverse Lukier. And those are just for the reverse cards. If you guys don't know, they basically chain very well with Omega Glendiose effect, which I will explain in a moment. One Star Vader Infinite Zero Dragon, just for that. If you get it as a break ride, you know, extra lock makes the job easier. These are the other reverse. Those are just the clans that weren't really Link Joker. These are 3 copies of Star Vader Reverse Cradle. Basically, it's a very good alternate Vanguard, and its effect does chain very well with Omega Glendiose, because it's when your unit with a reverse R in its front end is placed on rearguard, choose one of your opponent's rearguard, lock it. This unit gets 5,000 until the end of the turn. And its also effect is all your cards with reverse in this card name, so the reverse R, become a Link Joker. So not only is it does a lot of damage, but also it does help block your opponent's rearguard. So good alternate Vanguard too. Finally, the ace card of this deck, it is Star Vader Omega Glendiose. This is the card that does everything to pull off World's End in order to make your opponent lose like an Exodia. If you guys want to read the effect, you guys can read it right there. Yeah, so pause the video right there. And this is just basically to make to use the Omega Lock. That is the limit break effect. You counterblast 1, drop a reverse card, and basically all the cards cannot be unlocked until the next opponent's end phase. Usually it's just for 1 turn. Another effect is when your unit with reversed R is placed on rearguard 0, choose your opponent's rearguard and lock it. This ability cannot be used reversed at a turn. So basically, yeah, this card can lock 1 card every single turn, so eventually they're gonna meet their fate. Finally, all your rearguards with reverse R in its card name is also a Link Joker, and during your turn they get 4,000. So if you have a Link Joker reverse card, or just any reverse card, this card gets 4,000, so basically it's hitting for a 15k base. And its ultimate is, or ultimate break, at the beginning of your main phase, if the number of lock cards of your opponent is 5 or more, you win. So basically, the turn that they have 5, just wait 1 turn, make them Omega Lock, and then next turn you can just end their game. The only thing you have to be careful if you are playing this deck is if you are facing this guy. That makes it kind of hard, because you dealing 5 damage to them, they can't pull off their Alfred. So other than that, no other deck really counters this unless you go super aggressive on them. And so Omega Glendiose is a really good deck. It's just a bit hard to pull off effects, so I wouldn't really play it in like a regional tournament or national tournament. But overall, it's a really fun deck and good deck. Alright, thanks guys. Remember to leave a big thumbs up down below, comment, rate, subscribe. We'll have our update to regional soon. Remember to like and follow Facebook's Cardfighters Facebook, Instagram, and Facebook page. And yeah, Grand Italian from Cardfighters.